It's Wednesday, May 27th. In the headlines, new Western Children's Hospital to be named in honor of former Prime Minister Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller. In business news, Negril Airport to drive economic expansion of Hanover and Westmoreland. Regionally, Caribbean Airlines cuts routes after millions in losses. And in sports, World Athletics approves a qualification system for Beijing 2027 Championships. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. The Western Children's Hospital in Montego Bay will be named in honor of former Prime Minister Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller, who conceptualized the facility. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcement on Tuesday during a ceremony in downtown Kingston, where the Labor and Social Security Ministry's main building was renamed Portia Simpson Miller Building as part of Workers' Week observances. The Prime Minister said it was always intended for the hospital to bear Mrs. Simpson Miller's name.
And I had expressed that directly to the family, and internally we had also discussed it. And I may even have said it in passing in interviews, which probably was not picked up at the time, that the hospital should be named. It is only the right thing to do. It's appropriate that it should be named in her honor, and it will be done.
Opposition leader Mark Golding welcomed the move.
Before she became Prime Minister, she was Minister of Tourism, and it was under her watch that the massive development of Jamaica's tourism industry really began, with the infusion of foreign investment at levels that were previously unheard of. So her legacy is wide-ranging. And then as Prime Minister from January 2012 to March 2016, she oversaw the successful implementation of an extremely challenging financial program. So big up, Sister P. Your legacy is solid, and your delivery for Jamaica deserves every accolade.
Labour Minister Pernell Charles Jr. also hailed her lifelong service to the country.
Few leaders in Jamaica's modern history have demonstrated the kind of consistent commitment to welfare, dignity, and the advancement of working people than Portia Simpson Miller. For more than a decade, former Prime Minister served our country through this ministry, first as the Minister of Labour, Welfare and Sport, 1989 to 1993, then as Minister of Labour and Welfare for 2 years, up to 95, and finally as Minister of Social Security and Sports and, from 1995 to 2000.
Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller, Jamaica's first female Prime Minister, was absent from the ceremony due to health challenges. Her grandniece accepted the honor on her behalf. Earlier in the day, government officials also dedicated the Lyndon G. Newland building at National Hero Circle in honor of former Labour Minister Lyndon Newland, regarded as the father of the National Insurance Scheme. Jamaica has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Ghana aimed at addressing shortages in the local health sector, particularly among nurses and specialized medical personnel. Under the 4-year bilateral agreement, Ghanaian nurses and doctors will be temporarily deployed to Jamaica to support the country's healthcare system, while promoting ethical international recruitment practices and bilateral cooperation. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the agreement aligns with Jamaica's Vision 2030 plan.
You may recall that I announced in my sectorial that we had signed MOUs with Philippines, India, Nigeria, and Ghana. The technical details of those have been worked out, which is why I'm here. And there's a lot of excitement around the collaboration. Ghana and Jamaica are quite close, actually. The historical background is significant. The natural affinity to cooperate, English-speaking, Commonwealth, similar type of training for healthcare workers represents significant potential.
The agreement is also expected to provide professional development opportunities for Ghanaian healthcare workers while supporting Jamaica's expanding health infrastructure program.
In the short term, it means that we will see the commencement of special areas where we have shortages being advertised for initial screening and recruitment, some of that online involving our people. We select these persons, then they will come into Jamaica. Minister of Health and be deployed. The Minister of Health has said that he's giving us a month, giving his people a month or so to pull together the numbers that we need.
Mental health professionals are raising concern about the growing emotional and psychological impact social media is having on children and teenagers. Experts say many young people are struggling with self-esteem, online pressure, and conflict resolution as more of their lives unfold behind screens.
For today's children, the digital world is more than entertainment. It's where they learn, connect, and sometimes suffer. Across schools, homes, and communities, the impact of growing up online is becoming increasingly visible. Educators are seeing it, parents are seeing it, guidance counselors are seeing it, and the children themselves are experiencing it.
Sometimes, social media makes me feel like I'm constantly being judged by how I look or what I have. I feel like I'm constantly comparing myself to what I see online, and it's hard not to feel like everybody's better than me.
Being online can feel really overwhelming sometimes. I see people posting their perfect pictures and living their perfect lives, and it makes me question myself. Sometimes I wonder if I'm pretty enough, good enough, or if my life measures up. People can be really cruel online too. The comments and the messages can hurt, even when I try to act like they don't. Social media can be fun, but sometimes it really drains me, mentally and emotionally.
They're growing up in a world of filters, followers, and fast reactions, where validation can be counted and rejection can go viral. So how does this shape who they become? Child psychologist Dr. Patrice Charles King helps us make sense of it all.
This generation is growing up online, social media, and they're resolving their conflicts on social media. Matter of fact, everything that they do in their life becomes a reel on social media. And what makes it worse is that they realize that they can monetize it. So conflict resolution, having a conversation, communication, verbalizing that communication, understanding how to do it, that's all gone with this generation. They're more used to texting and now ChatGPT to have a conversation. So I think this generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, growing up, the disadvantage to that is that they're very emotional, and I am seeing a lot of emotionally dysregulated children because they don't know how to resolve those emotions because everything is done online.
With so much of today's communication happening behind screens, many young people are losing valuable opportunities to develop healthy conflict resolution skills. So how can they begin rebuilding those essential tools?
Take a pause before responding to someone online. And it's not every group you need to be in. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, am I responding to this person based on a fact, or am I responding based on a fear? Am I responding because I want more likes and I'm trying to become popular online by embarrassing someone? So sometimes take a pause, give it a break, create healthy boundaries, eliminate some groups that if the group makes you feel bad, then disconnect and block them.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing you the developments shaping markets, capital access, and business decision making across Jamaica and the region. So let's get into the stories that matter. Horace Bryson, Technical Director at the Airport Authority of Jamaica, shared updates on the Negril Airport development with the audience at the Thropex Investment Conference happening this week at Travelers Beach Hotel in Negril. Over 200 acres have been identified in Little London, Westmoreland, as the site of the airport development. The first phase of development is expected to cost US $287 million and will be financed from monies collected from Norman Manley and Sangster's International Airport fee cess charged on passengers. While the October 2025 hurricane pushed back groundbreaking, Bryson identified the work to be started in this financial year. The project will be a Code C faculty with a 2,240-meter runway, allowing it to handle a Boeing 737 size aircraft from the US and Canada. It is projected to cater up to the 1 million passengers over the first 10 years. The airport is designed to drastically reduce the current 3 to 4 hour travel time visitors endure when driving from Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay to Negril. The government of Jamaica is set to raise billions of dollars on the local market this week through 2 benchmark investment note offerings as it moves to help finance its $1.44 trillion national budget. On Wednesday, May 27, the government will seek to raise $3 billion from a 7.5% benchmark investment note. The minimum purchase amount is $1,000, and interest payments will begin on August 28, with the payments made every 6 months thereafter until the note matures on February 28, 2035. In a separate offer, the government is also aiming to raise a further $3 billion through an 11.25% per annum benchmark investment note, which will mature on February 12, 2046. The minimum investment is also $1,000. For this instrument, the first interest payment, less 25% withholding tax, will be made on August 11, with semi-annual payments continuing until maturity or full repayment in 2046. For the trading period of May 26, 2026, the most actively traded securities were Kintyre Holdings Jamaica Limited with 52,477,729 units, representing 42.52% of market sales activities. JMMB Group Limited 7.35% cumulative redeemable preference share with 33,335,135 units, representing 27.01% of market sales activities. One-on-One Educational Services Limited with 12,408,938 units, representing 10.05% of market sales activities. Investor activity remained concentrated in finance, education, and distribution plays, signaling continued interest in dividend-producing and strategic assets. Turning to the foreign exchange market based on Bank of Jamaica data for May 26, 2026. Forex traders recorded significant activity with strong demand across major currencies. For the US dollar, trading margins reflected steady liquidity, with the US selling at $155.86 and buying at $157.90. For the Canadian dollar, moderate gains supported by 60-cent transaction spreads meant the Canadian dollar sold for $114.53 and was bought for $113.93. For the British pound, continued volatility offered short-term trading opportunities of $2.08 in profits for the banks. The British pound sold for $212.30 and was bought for $210.22. These movements underscore the importance of cash flow timing and currency awareness for businesses managing import costs, debt servicing, or overseas exposure. For our credit report tip of the day, dual citizens have a planning advantage that most people overlook: currency and income flexibility. If you earn in one country and hold obligations in another, your credit profile becomes part of a broader financial strategy. In practice, this means aligning your income flow, banking relationships, and credit usage so that neither system works against the other during exchange rate shifts or income changes. The biggest mistake is overextending across both systems at the same time. Two credit profiles do not mean double borrowing power on day one. It means double responsibility. Mismanaging one can indirectly affect your ability to build trust with lenders in the other, especially when global banks or cross-border financial institutions are involved. A strong dual country credit profile is built slowly, intentionally, and with structure. Think of it less as accessing money and more as building credibility in two financial ecosystems at the same time. The individuals who get this right don't just move between countries, they move with financial leverage. For our funded and focused feature, many investors spend years waiting for the right time. Strategic partnerships can shorten that timeline and help investors start building assets sooner. Of course, collaboration requires structure. Clear agreements, transparency, and proper due diligence matter. The right partners and the right framework are just as important as the investment itself. Building wealth is not only about what you can acquire on your own. Sometimes the smartest move is recognizing that shared vision and shared resources can create larger opportunities. The question is no longer whether partnerships work. The question is whether we are willing to explore smarter ways to fund growth and build assets together. Have you ever considered pooling investments as part of your wealth building strategy? And that's today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, bringing clarity to capital, markets, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay intentional, and keep building forward. See you soon.
In regional news, Barbados and Guyana are moving to strengthen regional integration with a new agreement allowing approved travelers to use electronic ID cards for passport-free travel between the two countries. The initiative, which takes effect July 1, was highlighted during Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley's visit to Guyana for the country's 60th independence celebrations.
Guyana and Barbados are taking a bold step toward deeper regional integration, with a new agreement that will allow citizens to use their electronic ID cards for passport-free travel between the two countries. On Monday, Prime Minister of Barbados Mia Mottley entered Guyana using only her national electronic ID card. Mottley was here to join President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali in celebrating Guyana's 60th independence.
We feel that this opportunity, permanently so, not in the way that it was done for the single domestic space for Cricket World Cup, but permanently so, should be the gift that all Guyanese and all Bajans remember as a 60th anniversary gift to the two countries. And we trust and pray that others will follow and others will work with us to expand the category of CARICOM citizens who can benefit from this.
The initiative will allow approved travelers to move between the two countries without using a passport, making travel easier and faster. Prime Minister Mottley said the system is expected to expand in the future to include smartphone-linked travel technology. Minister of Public Service, Government Efficiency and Implementation,
Zulfikar Ali, said the initiative supports government efficiency and national security.
The EID card is being used as one of the most reputable and internationally recognized card and systems that we are adopting here in Guyana. Actually, we are one of the countries that are leading this initiative in the Caribbean as well, thanks to the President and his vision of having efficiency in government and security being one of the highest emphasis across the boards in our country.
The electronic ID system is also expected to improve access to banking, immigration and government services, with plans to expand the partnership across the Caribbean.
Caribbean Airlines is scaling back several regional routes after a review found parts of its Eastern Caribbean expansion were financially unsustainable. The airline says multiple routes launched in 2023 generated millions of US dollars in losses, prompting service cuts and market withdrawals aimed at improving financial stability.
A comprehensive review by Caribbean Airlines Route Oversight Committee has found that several routes introduced during the 2023 Eastern Caribbean expansion were launched without sufficient commercial justification and have since generated sustained financial losses. Within the last year, the airline discontinued its Jamaica to Fort Lauderdale route, which generated US $7.2 million in losses, and the Trinidad to Puerto Rico route, which saw $4.92 million in losses. From June 1st, 2026, CAL will withdraw from several other markets in a bid to stop hemorrhaging money.
Withdrawal from the Dominica market, which has incurred an overall loss of US $0.73 million as of April 2026. Withdrawal from the St. Kitts market, which has incurred an overall loss of US $1.65 million as of April 2026. Discontinuation of the non-stop Guyana to Suriname service, which has incurred an overall loss of US $1.24 million as of April 2026.
The airline will also reduce the frequency of flights in other markets.
Service frequencies to Martinique and Guadeloupe are to be reduced from 4 weekly flights to 2. These routes generated losses of US $1.23 million Martinique and US $1.86 million Guadeloupe, respectively. The combined loss sustained on these routes as of April 2026 is $18.84 million US dollars, or in excess of TT 128 million.
He added customers holding bookings on affected services beyond the discontinuation dates will be contacted directly by Caribbean Airlines or through travel agents.
Affected passengers will be offered reaccommodation or alternative regional services where feasible via Caribbean Airlines and partner connections, offered a full refund of the unused portion of the ticket or retention of the ticket value as a future travel credit subject to fair conditions.
Minister Zachary said the losses will now be converted to operational savings and improve the airline's financial stability. Gregory McBurney, TTT News.
With weather patterns becoming more unpredictable, Trinidad and Tobago is playing a key role in strengthening how the Caribbean prepares for severe conditions. A 4-day workshop for regional weather forecasters, now underway at Caribbean Telecommunications Union in St. Clair, is focusing on smarter warning systems. More details in this TTT News report.
So it's not just about saying whether it's going to be cloudy or sunny, but it's going to highlight what impact will the weather today have on me as an individual and on society.
Director of the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service, Shakir Beg, says as weather patterns become more unpredictable, traditional forecasts may no longer provide enough information for citizens to adequately prepare. Speaking to TTT News during a workshop for regional weather forecasters at the Caribbean Telecommunications Union in St. Clair on Tuesday, he emphasized that early warning systems are especially critical for farmers, fishermen, commuters, and sailors. He noted that efforts are already underway to provide more targeted, practical information to those most affected.
We have started at the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service. We have started providing information to various sectors of our communities. we are providing an agricultural forecast which is specially geared towards letting farmers know over a particular period of time what sort of weather to expect. By doing this, the farmers can manage the time in which they lay their seedlings in the ground, as well as harvest the crops. And so the one most important piece of information for farmers will be the weather information.
Meanwhile, United Nations Resident Coordinator Joanna Kazana said the Caribbean is leading the way in adopting early warning systems out of necessity, given the region's exposure to extreme weather.
First of all, the Caribbean region is particularly affected by the Hurricane Melissa that we all observed in 2025. That was Category 5 storm, and it raced through Jamaica, through Cuba, and through Haiti in October 2025. Very quickly after that, in November 2025, the World Bank and the IDB have made their calculations, and they estimated that the damage to Jamaica alone was almost $9 billion. And it was apparently equivalent to about 41% of Jamaica's GDP of the previous year, 2024.
The 4-day workshop is focused on impact-based warning systems and common alert protocols, two key tools that could save thousands of lives and billions of dollars. Ryan Hamilton Davis, TTT News.
In sports, we begin on the track with athletics. World Athletics has approved the qualification system and entry standards for the World Athletics Championships Beijing 2027. The governing body says qualification for the championships will again be based on a combination of entry standards and world rankings, with approximately 40% of athletes expected to qualify through standards and 60% through rankings. World Athletics says the system is aimed at ensuring the world's top athletes are represented while recognizing both outstanding performances and consistent results throughout the qualification period. Athletes will be able to qualify by meeting entry standards, securing qualifying positions at designated competitions, receiving a wild card, or through their world rankings position. The marathon qualification window will run from November 3, 2025 to May 2, 2027, while qualification for most other events will begin on August 23, 2026 and close on August 22, 2027. In football news, the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup draw in Miami has set the stage for a tough and intriguing campaign for Trinidad and Tobago's teams. The two TT Premier Football League clubs that qualified for the regional competition are champions Defense Force FC and runners-up club Sando FC. And they were both drawn in Group A, along with Haitian outfit Violet AC, SV Brookie of Suriname, and the yet-to-be-determined CFU club Shield runners-up. Group B comprises Cibayo FC of the Dominican Republic and their countrymen Salcedo FC, as well as Jamaican duo Cavalier FC and Portmore United FC. The CFU club Shield champions will complete the group. The Caribbean Cup is set to kick off on August 4th, 2026. And that's the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.